have 10 principles on thinking positively. So we guide them through those principles, and they learn how to look at life differently and look at life positively and believe in themselves that they have the power to do whatever it takes. And then we train them on talents, how they can discover their talents, and actually we help them to discover the talents that each is enrolled with. And then from there, we give them a training on how to be innovative, so that whatever talent one has, you can use it in a more innovative way.
Planting in a circle, you're supposed to dig a circle of 2 by 2 by 2. That's to say the width is, the diameter is 2 by 2. So that's a square foot. Then the depth must be 2 feet. Then the hole itself, you can do it in round or you can do it in square. From one hole to the other, you're supposed to make 2 feet. First, to do the mulching. You put the mulching around 2 inches. The mulching you are putting ni ile ya kuzuia evaporation, na wakati maji inaenda chini inashikwa na hiyo mulching unaweka hapo. After putting the mulching, you can put seeds of compost, manure or any borea you have. Sana sana tuna guide tunatumia compost ya ng'ombe au ya manure juu inakuanga na joto mingi. Then you cover it with a soil of 2 inches. In one hole, from a small hole to the other one is 1 foot. In that small hole, you are supposed to put 2 seeds. Each seed must be 1 foot to the other one is 1 foot to the other one. Then at the center, you plant another 2 seeds. Then after planting, you just cover those small holes, and if there is no rain, you can put 1 bucket of water for 20 liters. That one is unable to grow like that if 6 days if there is no rain. And then from those 36 days, you can add another bucket of water after 14 days. At that time, the seeds will have been shoot. You see, even in the hole, there is also, let's say for example, there is a rain, and the rain is raining. You see, in the hole, the storage is also very high, because the hole is a bit. You see, when you have put the soil, you are not going to cover the whole hole. You are going to leave a space like 6 inches, where you are going to allow there is a catchment of water, and that's when you make even the water not to evaporate very fast, like not like the ordinary lines where you put the lines. The hole have more yield than the lines, because in the hole there is, you see, when you are planting in an ordinary shamba where you put the lines, sometimes in this ordinary shamba we just have a hard pan, because of stepping the garden every inch of time. The seeds cannot penetrate, the roots cannot penetrate inside to go deeper. In the hole, the roots will penetrate inside, even to go to the further to get the water from the mulching you have put. And so the seed and the soil is free, because in the hole you cannot step in the hole. And the soil is very free, so the roots can penetrate everywhere and get the manure easily, or get its food very easily, make the plants grow very fast. Tuseme kwa mfano uwe na plot B, moja iko na mashimo na ingine iko na rain. Hii ya mashimo yield yake inakuanga juu, kwa sababu ile iko na hard pan, tuseme mchanga yake imeshikana, na ile yield yake inatokanga haraka kwa sababu soil iko very free. Hii ya mashimo inakuanga double. Ile kitu inafanyanga watu wengi wasitumie mashimo kwa sababu ya kazi yake ni ngumu ya kuchimba mashimo. Lakini kama kuna uwezo watu watumie hiyo mashimo, yield yake inakuanga juu kuliko ile, inakuanga double kuliko ile ya rain. Wakati wa mvua, uanze kutayarisha shamba yako mapema. Nikiadvise watu watumie mashimo. Yield yake, uanze kupiga mashimo, usipige mashimo wakati mvua imekaribia. Uanze kupiga mashimo kabla mvua inyeshe. Ndio wakati mvua ikianza kunyesha shamba yako iwe tayari. Yield yake inakuwa juu kuliko ya rain. Kwa shimo moja inatakiwa, kama umepanda vile inatakikana, unatakiwa kuproduce from 4 kg.
crazy they are, the more imaginative they have become. The second point is trust yourself.
We have a central machine that is a server, and other users can connect to that central server using thin clients. In that, instead of having 4 desktop computers, you can have one computer that can be used by 4 users. So my introduction basically starts with first of what it includes is a host. Now this is a central machine that will run the software that will enable us to have several users. So the basic requirements of that machine is that it has to have 2 cores and above to support applications like Office, Word, and so on. Then we'll have the access devices. The access devices will include thin clients. Now thin clients, these are, let's say, like more of a modem in which users will connect their own keyboard and mouse and monitor to a thin client. Then that thin client will connect to the host. Then we'll have a user station which will include a VGA monitor and a keyboard and a mouse. First we'll have a host computer. Now the host includes, it will have to have, first of all, the basic requirement will have to have a 64-bit operating system. Then we'll install the software maybe for the students to use and for the teacher. That's the management console. Then we'll have a thin client. It's more like a modem that interfaces a desktop and a monitor and a mouse. These are either peripheral devices. It may be also LAN and other LAN, USB, and so on. Hardware cost. Hardware cost in that, let's take this scenario. We have several students. Let's say we have a class of 16 students. Now, instead of buying 16 computers and 16 mouses and 16 keyboards for all these students, we can have 4 machines. Then we buy each student a monitor, a mouse, and a keyboard. Now, what will happen is that these 4 machines can serve 16 students through our solution. Then the other thing is labor cost. Now, take this in a normal IT environment. We need labor cost in that training will be a cost. Let's say for the teachers, then for maintenance. These are for the technicians who have to come. Now, look at the cost of maintaining 16 computers. That is a lot of cost. Instead, you can save by having 4 computers. You see, you have saved for 12 machines. Then the other cost is software cost. Now, we look at it in the terms of licensing. Now, instead of buying 16 licenses, for example, for Windows, we'll only need 4 licenses. So we'll save costs in that aspect. Then the other one is energy cost. Now, my solution is guaranteed and in energy, in that it will save cost in terms of energy. First of all, is in the devices that we use, like the server itself will be energy efficient. Then instead of using, let's say for the class, like the example that I used earlier, instead of using 16 computers, all you need is 16 monitors and mouses and 4 machines. In that, the ratio is like 1 to 4, depending on the capabilities. Now, it doesn't mean that it's limited in that 2 cores is the minimum, but you can have greater performance. Then, overall, the general cost of saving, the general cost that you'll save 66%. For making it now unique to our own situation in Kenya, we understand that the country has a problem in energy, in that now we are experiencing rationing. Now, I have come up with an alternative solution to incorporate in my solution. We'll use alternative sources of energy. Now, this can do with solar panels, which can provide enough energy for the computers and for the laboratory.
Engage yourself in positive thinking. 2. Think positive.
Need alternatives, because you find in life most of the times we are so used to the traditional sources of energy such as paraffin, gas, firewood, charcoal and the rest. So we felt that those are not sustainable, and 2, we needed to take care of the environment, and therefore this idea was ideal. The solar jiko works through reflection of heat from the sun, and therefore it has to be set in a certain way for at least 2 hours to cook about 1.5 liters of food. So if you measure in kilos, that will be around 1 1.5 kilograms of food that can be cooked. And I would say it is a little bit slower than the other means, but it's environmental friendly. We need safurias that are thick than the material that is used to make the jiko. We make it thick because it has to retain heat for long, and therefore you find that again the surface has to be dark, because again when we go to the physics of conduction of heat, you find that dark materials retain heat for long. And because we need to cook the food for slightly longer, if there is interruption in the sun, then you find that the thickness and the darkness helps in the material. About the applicability or the usability is, yes, it can be used by anyone, but it cannot be used everywhere. It requires places where they have good sunlight, that is a direct sunlight, and very high degrees of heat from the sun. And therefore you find in places like Limuru, it may not really work, because you find it's cold. In as much as the sun is there, there is a lot of wind, and therefore the heat cannot be retained. But in places of like Eastern, we talk of Eastern Province, parts of Kitui, Mwingi, we go to Northeastern, we talk of Mandera, Garissa. I think there it has worked and it works well. The first alternative is aluminium, the second and the third is aluminium. The only thing is that we may use the aluminium metal plates, or we may use aluminium foil. Now the advantage of using the metal plate is that we only have to build the jiko once, and therefore the cost may be expensive, or the initial cost may be expensive, but as time goes by you find that it is cheaper. When we come to the aluminium foil, we want to reduce the environmental degradation, and therefore you find you use a foil once, twice, and then you have to throw it away. So you find that it would be more expensive. And again, about setting the surface, the foil may be folded and therefore not recommendable. Like if it comes to the plate, around 1 meter, we can call it 1 meter square, a radius of 1 meter, a radius of 1 meter. Societal benefits would come in so many ways. One, we've heard of cases of people who are suffocating, especially at night or even during the day, by use of jiko. By reducing the smoke or the CO2 emission, you find that the number of people who suffocate may be reduced, because we've heard of cases of people who die as a result of that. We've had environmentalists who are campaigning for sustainable forests, and therefore by use of this jiko you find that will reduce the number of trees. We may not eradicate, because there are people who are conventional in their usage of the energy sources that they've been using, and therefore if we are going to reduce that, then again the prices of paraffin are shooting up with each new day. So you find this would work in reducing all those costs that are related. We are giving them a safer source of energy, and therefore reduction of greenhouse gases. We are also creating employment for the people who would be making the jikos if we go to an industrial scale. We are also working on the people who distribute and any other person who may be involved directly or indirectly. But more importantly is that our forest would be sustained and our environment would be good. I think that's the impact that would be there.
first one, money should not be the main problem. And the second is failure is success turned upside down.
can see there is water inside the container. My students, you can see. So inside the container, there is water. And this water will kill the rat, because when the rat will enter in the water, it will drink a lot of water and die there. So let us assume, for example, this is a rat and it's coming to take this food. The rat may come from any side, none of the sides may come from this side, it may come from this side. But now let's assume that the rat is coming to take. Immediately it steps on the lid, it goes in water. You see?
That's a big rat.
That is a very big rat, and it cannot escape. It cannot escape.
when we came up with this idea, we knew at least that we could easily start a poultry farm and then with fish farming, so that we put them together so that they interdepend. For example, it would be cheaper to keep fish, and then the droppings of the poultry would be the feeds for the fish, so that we cut short our expenses of buying maybe food for the fish. We have identified where we can do the project. We have a piece of land. One of us have offered the piece of land. Now that piece of land is in his home. Then the team come from different areas. It covers a large area, but the project will remain in his land. So you will find that this group, maybe if it is a group of 5, they'll join us as we go along. They come from different parts of the location. So they will be attending here and maybe selling the idea event where they come from. The members were very happy, and they are excited. We have even put up the modalities of running the project, and hopefully we shall overturn it to be our own thing, and we run it on ourselves. Once we get the springboard of starting the project, then we'll make sure now we don't depend on the donors, but we shall turn the table upside down so that we maintain it and make sure that it runs on well, and maybe it even expands. School leavers who are idle, they can get occupation there instead of loitering about. So we have identified, and even there are boys who are ready, boys and girls who are ready to do that, because they don't have anything to do. Here the poverty level is very high. Because we don't have anything to give us cash. So you find that when the rains fail, we don't have enough. So you find that everybody is poor. But with this project, I think it will elevate them. It will elevate them. Maybe they'll be occupied. They'll get something to do. They'll get benefit. They'll benefit from it, cash-wise. I think so. Many people depend on their parents. They depend on their lucky brothers and their siblings. But I'm sure the project will give them employment. They'll depend on nobody. They'll have their own money. And I hope in 5 years' time, if you know Nyamonye now, come back in 3-5 years' time, you'll find the whole society changed. Money in pockets. No idling, drinking, ovyo. There will be nothing like that.